Logan Hayes stood on the bridge of the Earth Defense Command ship, his hands gripping the rail. The view screens showed endless black, dotted with alien ships forming an arrogant crescent around the system. Every flash of light was a missile, a probe, or a warning. The Galactic Council had laughed at Earth for decades, but Logan knew the truth. Humanity was stronger than they thought. He tapped the console. The fleet was ready. Every pilot, every engineer, every soldier had been waiting for this moment. Years of hidden preparation had built this power. Now it would be revealed. The Council's message played on the main screen again. Smooth voices, calm, dismissive. They called humans primitive, unable to fight beyond their own planet. Logan clenched his jaw. They would learn. A young officer ran up, her eyes wide. "Captain, sensors are detecting a warp signature. Something is coming fast." Logan leaned forward. The readout showed it clearly. A council probe, bigger than anything they had seen before, closing in at impossible speed. "Raise shields. Full power to forward cannons. I want a clear shot if it gets too close." The crew moved with precision. Their fear was real, but trained out of them. Logan's eyes scanned the feed, memorizing every blip. He knew their weapons, their formations, but he had never faced one of these probes. He didn't know what it could do. The engines hummed through the ship. Metal groaned as energy rerouted. Logan's mind ran through every strategy he had prepared, every simulation, every drill. Nothing predicted what the Council would throw at them. The probe blinked into the system. It looked empty, like a ghost, but sensors screamed. Energy spikes, fluctuations that made no sense. Logan frowned. "Report." "It's warping space near us, sir," the officer said. "Sensors are seeing duplicate ships. They aren't real. We can't tell what is real." Logan's stomach tightened. He had expected a fight, but this was something else. Something dangerous. Something psychological. He swallowed hard. Focus on the actual ships. Ignore the ghosts. We fight reality, not illusions. The first blast hit the shields. The ship shuddered violently. Sparks flew along the walls. Alarms screamed. Crew members were thrown off their feet. Logan grabbed the rail, his knuckles white. He looked out at the fleet. The Council had sent the probe to test them, to scare them. He took a deep breath. Fear was there, yes, but also anger. He remembered the diplomats on Earth, begging the Council to take humanity seriously. They had laughed. Now they would pay attention. Logan barked orders. "Forward cannons. Fire at will. Target the probe directly. Do not hold back." The bridge was chaos. Red lights flashed. Crew shouted coordinates. Every shot the humans fired tore through the illusion, but the probe adapted, bending reality around itself. Logan saw familiar ships duplicated and warped. He almost thought they were losing more than they had already lost. Then he noticed something impossible. A fleet he had never built, ships he had never authorized, mirrored his own formation perfectly. It was as if the probe was predicting every human move before they made it. His heart raced. He knew one thing for certain. This was more than a test. The Council was ready to strike, and Earth was standing in the wrong place at the wrong time. He clenched his fists. "All pilots, hold your positions. Engage only when you see the real target. Do not fire at shadows. Watch your back. Watch your brother." A sudden alarm cut through the chaos. A secondary signature appeared near the system's edge. Logan froze. The probe had not come alone. Something much bigger was on its way. He leaned over the console, eyes wide, stomach tight. "Prepare for impact. We are not alone. The Council didn't listen. Now we will show them what humans can do." The alarms screamed across the bridge. Logan Hayes tightened his grip on the rail. Red lights flashed over the consoles, throwing shadows on anxious faces. The Council's probe had vanished, but the larger fleet was arriving fast. Ships as far as the sensors could see, sleek and deadly, warped into the system, engines glowing with raw power. "All hands, battle stations," Logan shouted. His voice cut through the chaos. "Remember your training. We survived together." The crew moved like soldiers in a drill they had repeated 1,000 times. Metal groaned as doors sealed, energy hummed through the hull, and weapons charged with precise timing. Logan's eyes darted from screen to screen. Each alien formation was elegant, calculated, and terrifying. They were confident, arrogant. They thought humans could not fight in space. They were wrong. "Forward cannons ready," the weapons officer called out. "We have a clean shot on the Vanguard." Logan nodded. "Fire when ready, no hesitation. Take the first move." Missiles tore from the human fleet, leaving trails of white-hot light. Alien shields flared as the first wave of attacks met them. The Council's ships responded instantly, twisting through space in ways that made human pilots dizzy. Logan's stomach clenched, watching his best pilots dodge death by meters. Each strike felt like a gamble, every move a risk. "Captain," a young lieutenant yelled, pointing to the holographic map, "the Vanguard is falling back, but another formation just appeared from the warp. They're surrounding us." Logan swore under his breath. The Council had expected humanity to strike, and now they were tightening the noose. He took a deep breath, feeling the weight of command pressing on his shoulders. He thought of the people on Earth, of every life depending on him. Failure was not an option. "Evasive maneuvers," he ordered. "Spread the fleet, draw them apart, use their arrogance against them." The human ships surged into new positions, engines screaming. Missiles streaked through the void, hitting alien vessels that faltered against unexpected human tactics. The humans fought with speed, with strategy, with something the Council had never faced before. Then Logan saw it. His second-in-command, Lieutenant Carver, was signaling the Council mid-battle. Logan's chest tightened. Carver had been his closest ally, someone he trusted with his life. Now he was feeding their enemy, giving them the coordinates and plans of the human fleet. "Carver," Logan muttered, rage and disbelief burning in his eyes. He felt betrayed, exposed. The battle could turn in seconds if the Council used this information right. The fight intensified. Ships collided with a thunderous roar of metal. Explosions lit the void in harsh flashes. Logan barked orders, trying to compensate for the leak of intelligence. Every decision was immediate. Every maneuver, life or death. He watched one of his pilots go down in flames, another narrowly avoiding a plasma beam. He felt the panic of losing men he had trained, men he had known for years. The bridge shook as debris from the first collisions hit their shields. Smoke filled the corners. The ship groaned under the stress. Then came the moment that froze him. On the main screen, he saw the Council's true strength. A massive formation, a fleet unlike anything he had anticipated, moved in silently from the edge of the system. They were here to finish the fight, and Logan realized with horror how small his victory could be. He slammed his fist on the console. "Hold positions. Fight for every inch. We will not give them the satisfaction." The humans fought back with everything they had, but Logan knew the battle was no longer just about survival. It was about proving humanity could stand against the galaxy. He gritted his teeth and looked at the approaching fleet. He would face them. He had to. And then the sensors picked up a second signal moving faster than anything they had seen, closing on their position with silent intent. Logan froze, knowing this was only the beginning of something far more dangerous. The Council had a weapon on its way, and Earth was in the line of fire. Logan Hayes landed on the ruined outpost orbiting a fractured moon. Smoke curled from broken engines and shattered hulls. He stepped over twisted metal and scorched debris, his boots clanging against the cold, metallic floor. Every corner held danger. Every shadow could hide a Council scout. He gathered his strike team, men and women hardened by months of conflict. They had lost friends, watched their ships burn, and survived when others would have fallen. Logan's eyes scanned each face. Determination burned in their eyes. Fear was there too, but they would not quit. "Listen up," Logan said, his voice steady, cutting through the hum of emergency engines. "The Council thinks this is the end. They think we are broken. We are not. We strike at their supply lines. We take what they rely on and turn it against them. We make them bleed where they are weak." The team nodded. They knew the stakes. Every move had to be precise. A mistake could mean annihilation. Logan briefed them on the Council's patrol routes, the warp points, and their blind spots. Then he led them to the ships they had salvaged, engines patched, weapons ready. The strike began with stealth. Human fighters slipped past sensors, weaving through asteroid fields, exploiting gaps the Council assumed were impassable. Explosions suddenly lit the void as supply ships erupted in fire. Logan's crew moved with surgical precision, capturing data cores and alien technology. Every success lifted their spirits. Every danger sharpened their instincts. Mid-mission, Logan received a report that made his blood run cold. The Council had created a trap. Civilians on a nearby colony were being forced into labor for a weapon Logan had feared, a system capable of erasing entire planets. His stomach twisted. Every second they delayed gave the Council more power. "We split into teams," Logan ordered. "Team 1 goes for the weapon. Team 2 covers the escape routes. No one dies if we can help it. Move." The corridors of the weapon facility were narrow, metallic, and cold. Sparks flew from damaged conduits. Aliens in powered armor fired without mercy. Logan's team responded with a mix of human ingenuity and brutality. They used plasma grenades, hacking drones, and gravity disruptors to outmaneuver the enemies. Logan ducked behind a console as a beam tore through the wall next to him. The air smelled of ozone and burning metal. His heart pounded, but he pushed forward. Every step brought him closer to the core of the weapon. Every step brought him closer to victory and death alike. Finally, they reached the weapon's control room. Logan accessed the alien console. Codes flashed on the screen. Alarms screamed. The device was primed, ready to fire. His hands moved over the interface, overriding sequences, shutting it down. Just as he thought they were safe, a shadow moved across the doorway. One of his lieutenants, someone he trusted completely, raised a weapon. Betrayal struck like a knife to the chest. "Stop him," Logan shouted. "He's a traitor." Chaos erupted in the room. Shots rang out. Alarms blared. The weapon flashed, threatening to ignite. Logan lunged, tackling the traitor to the ground. Sparks flew, systems went offline and online. The room shook violently. He struggled to keep the device from firing. Outside, ships streaked through the void. Explosions painted the blackness with fire. Every moment mattered. Every second could mean the end of the mission and countless lives. Logan held the traitor down, eyes locked with his own team. He realized the Council had spies everywhere. Their plans were tighter, deadlier than they had imagined. But humanity was still fighting. Humanity was still alive. The weapon shut down with a hiss. Silence fell for a moment, broken only by the hum of the ship and distant engine sounds. Logan looked at his team. Sweat and blood streaked their faces. Exhaustion and adrenaline mixed. Then a warning flashed across his console. Something was coming. Something larger, more dangerous than the fleet they had already faced. Logan felt the cold weight of dread settle in his chest. The Council had more power, more resources, and Earth was still in the line of fire. The next move would decide everything, and he knew they had little time to prepare. Logan Hayes stared out the viewport at Earth, barely visible through the haze of war. The Council's fleet was approaching in full force, a wall of ships stretching across the void. Engines glowed red, weapon systems charged, every ship a moving threat. Logan's fleet was smaller, battered from earlier encounters, but the humans were ready to fight. "All hands, battle stations," Logan said, his voice steady despite the tension. "We hold the line here, or Earth falls. Every ship, every pilot, every gun counts. Do not give them an inch." The bridge hummed with activity. Consoles beeped, alarms sounded, and the crew moved with trained precision. Logan's eyes scanned the sensor readouts, calculating odds, planning maneuvers. Human intuition, human courage, and human skill would have to match the Council's overwhelming numbers. The first salvo hit. Explosions lit the void, sending debris spinning across the battlefield. Logan shouted orders, directing his fleet with sharp commands. Flank them. Use the debris field as cover. Do not stay in one position. Hit and move. Hit and move. Human ships darted through broken asteroids, plasma beams cutting through alien hulls. Logan watched as one of his best pilots was hit, tumbling into space. He felt the familiar ache of loss, but he could not hesitate. Every second was a fight for survival. The Council adapted quickly. Ships twisted through space, forming impossible formations. Logan realized the battle was not just about firepower. It was a test of human creativity and endurance. He ordered his fleet to break formation, using unpredictable tactics. They spun, dived, and struck from angles the Council did not anticipate. A missile streaked toward Logan's command ship. He gripped the console, heart pounding. The shield flared, absorbing the hit, but the vibration ran through the hull. He glanced at his officers, faces pale but focused. The pressure was immense. One wrong move could cost everything. Then came the betrayal. Lieutenant Carver, the saboteur from the earlier battle, had planted a signal device. A Council strike group knew their exact position and moved in to trap them. Logan's stomach dropped. He had trusted this man, and now the fleet was exposed. "Divert power to aft shields. Break formation," Logan shouted. The humans obeyed instantly, weaving through space with desperate precision. Explosions erupted around them, the void alive with fire and metal. Despite the chaos, Logan noticed the Council fleet faltering. Human unpredictability, courage, and coordination were disrupting their attacks. Ships were destroyed, formations broken, systems failing. Logan's heart raced. Humanity could win this fight, but the cost was high. Every ship lost was a life lost, every maneuver a gamble. Suddenly, sensors screamed. Something massive was emerging from warp at the system's edge. A Council super dreadnought, larger than any human ship, powered through the void. Logan's eyes widened. Their biggest weapon had arrived. The tide of battle could turn in a single moment. He looked at his crew, at the battered but determined fleet. "We do not retreat. We fight. We show them humanity is not to be underestimated. Every ship, every gun, every life matters. Brace for impact. This is the moment we prove who we are." The super dreadnought advanced, engines burning like a sun. The humans had seconds to prepare, seconds to react, seconds to survive. Logan gritted his teeth, ready to face what might be the deadliest enemy humanity had ever encountered. The battle was about to reach its fiercest point, and the next move would determine the fate of Earth itself. Logan Hayes gritted his teeth as the Council's super dreadnought loomed in the viewport, its massive weapons charging with deadly intent. The human fleet, battered but unbroken, formed a line of resistance. Every ship, every pilot, every gun was crucial. Logan knew there was no room for error. "All hands, final assault," he commanded. "We hit them now. Every strike, every tactic, every ounce of strength counts. They think they can crush us. They are wrong." Human fighters darted through the void, weaving between explosions and debris. Missiles streaked toward the dreadnought. Energy beams lit the darkness, and ships sacrificed themselves to distract the enemy. Logan coordinated each movement with precise timing, the rhythm of war flowing through him. The dreadnought fired. Its beams sliced through space, tearing human ships apart. Logan watched as friends went down, flames and metal spinning into the void. His heart ached, but he could not stop. He pushed forward, eyes locked on the target. He activated the hidden war machine, the ultimate weapon humanity had kept secret. It roared to life, energy building in brilliant arcs, engines vibrating violently. The humans had never revealed this power before. Now it was their turn to strike fear into the Council. "Target the dreadnought," Logan ordered. "Fire everything, do not hold back. Energy beams, missiles, and plasma arrays hit the Council ship from all angles. The super dreadnought shuddered, sparks flying across its hull. The humans fought with courage, precision, and something the aliens could not understand: raw determination. Every strike pushed the Council back, showing them the strength of a species they had underestimated. The battle raged, relentless. Logan watched as his fleet executed daring maneuvers, exploiting every weakness. His mind raced with calculations and strategies, but he also felt the weight of every life in his hands. Each decision could mean survival or death. Then came the betrayal he had feared. One of his own, a trusted officer, tried to sabotage the war machine from within. Logan reacted instantly, tackling the officer to the ground. Sparks flew, alarms blared. He fought with every ounce of strength, refusing to let treachery destroy their chance at victory. Outside, the dreadnought's shields flickered, hull cracking under sustained assault. Humanity's weapon, combined with human ingenuity, was breaking through the Council's defenses. Logan felt a surge of hope, mixed with the bitter ache of loss. Many of his crew had died, but they had made this moment possible. Finally, the dreadnought exploded in a brilliant cascade of fire and debris. Shockwaves rippled through space, sending smaller ships spinning. Logan gritted his teeth, sweat and blood streaking his face, and watched the enemy fleet falter. Humanity had won this battle, but the cost was high. As silence settled over the battlefield, Logan's sensors picked up a new signal at the edge of the system. Faster, larger, and more ominous than anything they had faced. His stomach tightened. The Council had reinforcements, and Earth was still in their sights. Logan stood on the bridge, looking at the distant stars. The human fleet had survived, but the war was far from over. He clenched his fists, determination burning in his chest. They had shown the galaxy what humans were capable of, but he knew the next fight would be even harder. He whispered to himself, almost a vow, almost a warning. They thought we were weak. They were wrong. And we are just getting started.